Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we take a look at people's opinion on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. Today we kick off with a very bold claim. Doctors say men need sex 21 times a month to cut prostate cancer risk. Science also backs it up, saying regular sex boosts testosterone and well-being. Essentially, this means a woman should be having sex almost every day, except during menstruation, to help protect her partner's health. Some doctors have even suggested women should accept this reality and turn a blind eye if their man seeks sexual satisfaction elsewhere, if they cannot meet up with the required demand. After all, it should be a collective effort to prolong his life, not so? But here's the catch. What happens when medical advice clashes with marital reality? Many couples admit hitting that 21 times a month target is impossible. Between kids, careers, and stress, even 10 times a month feels like a stretch with their partners, especially after they've been together for decades. Men especially also argue that eating the same food every day gets boring. So seeking variety outside the home, they claim, spices things up, relieves sexual pressure on their wives, and even strengthens their marriages, allowing them to focus more on the deeper non-sexual bonds they have at home. Now, while most women would recoil at the idea of infidelity, whether discreet or not, surprisingly, some actually choose to remain blissfully ignorant as long as the illusion of fidelity remains intact. For them, the mantra is simple: see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. But frankly speaking, when a woman has become empowered, informed, and financially independent, isn't she less likely to tolerate what previous generations endured to stay in their marriages? And that's where the real emotional drama begins. Today we would explore the unfiltered reality of modern relationships, the compromises we make, and the emotional cost we bear in the dynamics of today's marriages. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because coming up shortly is the meat of the conversation with my distinguished guests. Dr. Rashid Abassi, Blessing CEO, and Stephanie Kadiri, aka Steph Red. Perspectives will return in just a moment. Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. It's time to meet our lovely guests, starting with Dr. Rashid Abassi, who trained at Yale in internal medicine and heart failure. He is the founder and CMO of Sisimi Medical Foundation. Dr. Abassi teaches at the University of Maryland and has advised the Nigerian government on healthcare. Blessing Inkiruka Okoro, popularly known as Blessing CEO, also joins us. She's a certified relationship and mental health counselor. And we also have with us Stephanie Kadiri, also known as Steph Red, a communication coach with more than 20 years of global experience. Known as the Genius Activator, Steph Red helps individuals and teams unlock their brilliance and inspires them to rise, adapt, and thrive. Such a delightful feeling to have all three of you here in Perspectives. Remember, I was telling you guys, please reserve your energy because this is a very hot topic. So let's start with you. You are the one that came up with this controversial men must ejaculate 21 times a month. And how realistic is this target? And how much pressure does it create in relationships?
No, excellent point, but I want us to not lose sight of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is prostate cancer.
Yes.
And so there's a theory physiologically called stagnation. The stagnation is any organ in your body that doesn't flush itself out has a likelihood of accumulating toxins. So it's not even just Dr. Abassi. This was done by different research groups. And the particular study that I proposed out, which has been proven, was done by Harvard women. They looked at number of ejaculations. Mind you, men who may be listening to us now, if you wake up in the morning and you don't have an erection, there's something wrong. It doesn't mean you are dying. Every man is supposed to wake up with an erection.
Every morning.
Every morning. It has little to do with your age. When you were younger, you're full of testosterone. Women are full of estrogen. Our testosterone drives my erection. It drives my blood flow. So if I'm not getting that to the point of ejaculation, there is a theory that I'm just accumulating toxins. And so they looked at it. So for men who are able to ejaculate 5-7 times a month, their risk of prostate cancer is considered to be considerably high, 30%. If you're able to do it up to 18 to 21 times and above, that risk goes down. Now the question is, you are happily married, your wife, the moment you have a child or two, you are no longer number one in that marriage. You are now number two because the women focuses on the kids, appropriately so. I'm not going to doubt that. That's what happens. So now the man doesn't get enough of that intimacy, that sexual thing going on. 5 days of menses goes to that woman. So we're left with 25 days. If it's February, you are left with 22, 23. And if you're able to get that ejaculation, they actually give men the option. Either you do masturbation. Most religious groups will say no. The next thing is your woman to step up the game, but we know she has other priorities. And then the third one is outsource. Yes, we can call it side chick, we can call it the other woman, because we know that you want to keep that man to be alive. If not, he has an increased risk of cardiovascular as well as prostate problem. And that's not me, that's just the research.
So, Stephanie, let me ask you guys, I can see you breathing there. So do you think this is an excuse for men to be unfaithful? Has culture made it easier for men to cheat without consequence, considering what he has just said?
I believe there's an undertone to that because, yes, there's a research. The research was in 2004, based on my research, was in 2004 by the Journal of American Medical Association. And it did not prescribe. It actually said that men that were discovered, based on their research, to have sex up to 21 times had reduced risks, I beg your pardon, of getting prostate cancer, but it is not a prescription to say that those who do not have will have prostate cancer. Because there are other things, there are other such things to look at as your lifestyle, health, what you eat, how sedentary or how active you are. There are other such things as genetics. There are other things like that. So also putting that in perspective, because we also have to be careful when putting out this narrative not to mislead those that do not probably go deeper to find out more knowledge and then just think that I have to have sex, of which is really not having sex. It's ejaculating. And yes, he rightly said, it's not necessarily having sex 21 times, it's about ejaculating 21 times. And ejaculation is not necessarily sex. So yes, he talked about masturbation. There's also nocturnal emissions. And then, yes, sex as well. So how do we, of which one of the things I was asking is, if we're going to be, if it's almost like as when you talked about outsourcing, it's almost like as though that's the only thing the men have to do, like as though there's no drive, there's no vision beyond just the sex, such that if you don't have the sex in those 21 emissions, it is going to cause you to die. It is not, that is an aspect that I believe still needs to be looked into, because there's a much deeper thing to consider, that we do not want people to begin to think that it is okay to be promiscuous, and then talking about, okay, outsourcing it. Why is that an option? To outsource it, when you can actually have yes, masturbation is an option. If you are talking about masturbation, if it gets to the point of which the reason why ejaculation has to happen based on research is because you need to clear the prostate from accumulation of probable toxins that could have come from what you ate, how you didn't exercise or something. So why are we not talking about such things as not smoking, which could also lead to prostate cancer, a high reason? Why are we not talking about such things as alcohol, which is a significant reason why prostate cancer could also happen? Why are we not focusing on stopping those bad habits that cause the toxins?
Well, if those bad habits are stopped, well, that's...
If those bad habits, if we focus on that, why are we not bringing out a research to say stop these? As again, just saying, have sex and outsource it.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask.
He has spoken on the medical part. Let's speak on the logical part. Yes. I feel like I always say that, and I think that's the reason why I'm controversial. Women, we love to lie to ourselves. What he said is exactly the truth, but we live in denial. I've said it before. The problem is when we get married or we have somebody we love, we want to own them because we think that they are objects. But in reality, and I used to say, these people they call prostitutes, there's a reason why they are prostitutes. They have their own work and their job. He used a very nice word, outsource it, side chick, the Delilahs. No matter how I used to say something. The punishment for cheating is hiding. So long as you are not caught, it doesn't exist. But I can tell you that is the only alternative.
So you believe that women accepting infidelity is like maturity? Let her finish.
She doesn't have to accept it, but it's an honest reality.
Okay, but she won't lose herself?
No, she won't.
A lot of women know
A lot of women know that their husband have different
So you think
ladies outside.
most women actually tolerate it as long as they don't see, they don't hear, they don't...
Yes,
whatever.
people come for counseling and they say, so long as my husband doesn't bring another woman inside, I'm
What you're
fine.
saying, I beg your pardon, what you're saying is there is no man that can be single-eyed.
I can be what?
That can be single-eyed. That means there's
That
no man
can be faithful.
that can be faithful.
No,
because
she's
that is the
not saying that.
no, what I mean is that's the subconscious narrative that we are driving, that a man is naturally supposed to have an eye beyond just woman.
No,
so we
that's
need to
not-
give him room to expand.
That's not
No,
what
she
she's
wants-
saying.
that's
No,
not what
I
she
mean,
said.
I'm talking about, that's a subconscious undertone.
no,
Okay,
let her
clarify
clarify
that,
it.
please.
Okay, you said, does it mean that we don't have faithful men? And I made a very key point. We lie to ourselves. That thing you
What's
call,
the lie?
that thing we call fidelity is the fact that a lot of men can keep it private. You don't know about it.
That's not true.
That's true.
That's the truth you have chosen to believe.
No. Then let
And
me
the
now-
fact that, you know, it's possible to hold on to something so strong and believe it. Because many times there are lies that we believe that have become our truth.
Yeah, but Stephanie,
Because
I beg to differ, because the truth of the
okay,
matter
right.
is
I'm
that-
sorry. I want to give an example.
No, listen.
Right, for those in the religious sector.
Okay.
Do we mean that the priests who are sworn to celibacy are dying of prostate cancer?
Okay, doctor.
Because they're
answer
not
that.
having it 21 times a month.
Wait,
Answer that,
no,
doctor.
So let's give you
Or
an
when
answer.
they die, it is because of prostate
won't
cancer.
even bring the priest. It's going
that
to be
is
very,
it.
it's going to be dramatic.
It's going to be more.
It's going to be
you know
very
why?
controversial.
You know why? You know
Okay.
why?
Okay.
That is
It's
that
a
is still
controversial
that is
discussion already.
no, that is still a pretty close cult, because we've not been able to do not only
No, but
just
then
on
why are they
prostate.
not dying? If
Yeah,
that's
no.
the case.
Why are they also paying for all this child abuse?
Oh, then you're not. Are you going to say
No.
I mean,
So,
that's
no,
not
no,
enough.
say that
I'm not going to give. No, I'm not going to give you.
What of them?
I'm not going to give you an
you have the
absolute
statistic
number.
to prove
Wait,
that?
wait. The Catholic Church are just settled excess of billions. Let's be realistic, madam. They've just settled. Why? Why would they just settle? But let me go back to my own
But
faith.
that's in the minority now. You can't
No,
use that
no,
as
no.
every single...
Because they've not been caught, madam. They've not been caught. I'm being honest with you. So, but let's face reality. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons I believe in the research. I'm a man. I'm driven by testosterone. You're a woman. You were driven by estrogen. Your estrogen started controlling you when you started your menses up to menopause. Research shows that if we can keep menses time to menopause time, if we can keep it short, not only will you live long, you're not going to die of breast cancer, you're not going to die of reproductive cancers. Go and check that. So if I can make the time you start your menses to the time of your menstruation stops, if I can make it short, you're going to live healthier and longer. But then what happens? Your body changes. Your vagina gets dry. Sex is no longer as appealing as it used to be when you were a teenager in your 20s. Why am I still producing testosterone? Why do women have biological clock? This is the reason why not only do I support the 21 ejaculations, I also know physiologically, yes, it cannot be absolute. It's a bell curve. There will be some women in their 60s, 70s still sexually active. The majority of women devoid of estrogen cannot do the 21 ejaculations. That is why I said outsource, and outsource respectfully. Whatever the left hand does, don't let the right hand know. So you're not going to bring your side chick home or the other woman home. She's not going to call you because you still have to respect your woman. But let's look at the physiology. You're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, you don't have any more estrogen at that moment. One of the things that makes women enjoy sex is the lubrication that comes from their glands. That is driven by estrogen. We were replacing it in the US. We started giving estrogen replacement. Women went ballistic. Things were fine. Then we discovered side effects, cardiac issues, ovarian issues. So we stopped. The women are still allowed to get it. They just have to give us a waiver. So let's face reality. Men are wired biologically to be polygamous.
Okay, so are you saying that because you said something just now when you said that there are actually women who are still sexually active in their 50s and all of that.
Yes.
And then we don't also talk about the fact that there are a number of men who have erectile dysfunctions significantly.
Yes.
So if a man who has erectile dysfunction is still with a woman who has high libido, is it okay for her to outsource?
Okay, good.
That's a good question.
That's a fantastic question. So when men show love, we don't show love by sex. Let me say that again. When men show love, we don't do it by sex. A man that loves you will support you, will provide you, will protect for you. But when women start giving off their body, they develop emotions. So if she's willing to say, hey, because the man cannot get his journey up and she wants to go out, God bless her, but she's not coming back. Trust me. Whether she wants it or not, emotionally she's attached to that tall, dark, and handsome who is giving it to
Are
her.
you assuming that every extramarital affair a married woman has, there must be love involved.
No, I'm not assuming that. But
There could also be financial rewards.
Yes, there could be other
financial
rewards.
benefits.
Yes, there could be other things there.
So she might still be in love with her husband at home, even though she's having an affair with the man
Absolutely.
outside.
So the man that is also going out, the man that is presently
having other woman.
Outsourcing.
Yes.
Does he still love his wife, or he's just outsourcing?
No, absolutely. Because men, sex to us does not equate love. So I can have sex with 3, 4 women. I don't even remember the name of the first one. But I still
fall in love with the side chick now. Blessing.
No.
And it boils down to what he says. I think I like the fact that he's coming from the medical aspect, because most times when I talk about it, a lot of people pick offense. I'm going to say it in my own language. Men are physical beings. Women are emotional beings. He said something very important. A man can go out, outsource a prostitute, see a girl he likes. Remember, we all agree that a man just wants to ejaculate. He does not want to fall in love. He just wants to come and rest. But women, the moment we start to have extramarital affair, we are attached. We start to call. Women like to be babied. Women like attention. You see them begin to drift away. So I think I agree with him. And we're still arguing on the other woman, bringing the other woman. Some men actually have lived life. There are some men that in their 20s, they've dated different kind of girls. And you said something, okay, if he has prostate cancer, erectile dysfunction,
yes.
What can you do as a woman? There's so many ways you can satisfy a woman apart from your penis. There are other things that you can do as a woman. And remember we said, the reason why these men are going out to outsource, apart from prostate cancer, is the fact that a time comes in your life as a woman where sex, women are very good with, I'm not in the mood. When we are pregnant, when we are menstruating, when we are cranky, we take it out. Yes, we are stressed. You won't even be wet at that point. If your man even wants to come and touch you, pepper body, because the kids are on your neck, everything's on your neck. So sometimes we always tell the men, just take her out on the vacation. What do you want the man to do at that point? I used to say, we women are too selfish. That's how I put it. And I would say, if you want to do what you want to do, don't just let your wife, you will give her that respect. And any girl you are meeting, she knows that the first thing you tell, I have a wife. Women now understand that I make you ejaculate, you give me money. I don't even want friendship with you. But the honest, that's the reason why.
But the men too also get attached now with this.
Very rare.
It's transactional.
Most of the time it's transactional. But they get carried away.
The way all of this is
Let's let Bessie finish. Let's let Bessie finish.
I had forgotten what I was saying.
You were saying it was transactional, which is where we came in. Sometimes it's not
okay,
so transactional.
the man just gets his ejaculation.
Or the man
just
might even get attached to the woman outside. It's
very
possible.
rare. He gets attached when, maybe apart from the fact that his wife is not giving him sex, she might not be giving him attention. Because there are some women that don't talk. He said something, that is where we have to be conscious. Mm-hmm. We take this emotion to our children, forgetting that your husband has a need. I have said it over and over again. Without side chicks, 90 to 95% of marriage will be damaged.
Hallelujah.
Side chicks save a lot. In fact, because your husband goes there to relieve stress, that's why he can come back to you. If there was no side chick, some men will divorce you instantly.
So that means the primary problem is not with the side chick saving, it's a breakdown of communication with the... Yes, so why are we not focusing on teaching men and women how to communicate and build emotional rapport?
Communication is still that sex.
No, communication is sex. Sex is one of the forms of communication, but not all of it. Of which, even in the process of because it's not just, oh, let us do. It is actually being able to talk through the process. Oh, what makes you happy? How do we do that? It's like, oh, for example, take Lagos. I once had this discussion with a sex therapist to say, in Lagos, for example, if you don't plan sex, you will almost not have it. Because it's either you are going out very early, you're stuck in traffic, you come back, you're tired. You have to be able to say, okay, sex has to happen. Guy, what time are you coming back? Okay, come on time, because so. Okay, prepare the mood. Okay, I am not going to. Women, because when we tend to take off the children, do things and do work, we're tired, we just want to sleep. How do we say, okay, my man is coming, I need to get ready. I need to say, guys, please come back on time. I'm tired, but we are going to, I'm tired. Let us do it tomorrow morning. That is communication. So that is understanding each other's needs and being able to, so when we're not talking that out and we're just assuming, oh, she's tired, she's having of which we are masters in co-treatment. And then when we're either giving him the silent treatment or not saying anything, he's walking on eggshells. Maybe she don't vex. Now go look at the person, right? So it now also comes to us trying to find out why there's a breakdown in communication that I have to go outside of my home to speak to someone that makes me calm.
So, Madam Ruth,
Okay,
she spoke on 2 assumptions. The 2 assumptions, one of them is that it has to be monogamy. Monogamy is un-African. It was given to us. Your great-grandparents were not monogamous. My great-grandparents were not
but it doesn't
monogamous.
mean that we tolerate what our great-grandmothers
No.
tolerated.
It's not about tolerating. We should take the wisdom from it. Let me say that again. We should take the wisdom from it. They may not be as book smart as you and I are, but they were wise. Honestly, because
you're saying they didn't go through their own emotional pain too.
Wait,
as well.
we're going to go through there. So if I married her, we married when we were both teenagers. I'm jumping on her every moment I hear her voice, I see her partially naked. You think I'm going to do that 20 years from now? Hell no. I'm not going to do it. There is a concept in physiology called pheromones. The first time I saw her, as beautiful as she is, she may not be the most beautiful woman I saw that day, but our pheromones clicked. After 10, 20 years, and she's giving me 2, 3, 4 beautiful kids, the pheromones start on clicking. If I see her next time, it's going to click with her. It's not going to be with her. I still love her. That's my priority.
I've heard a lot of men
That
say
is
that,
it.
actually.
So whatever I do with her, I'm going to keep it private out of respect for her.
Yes.
And me having sex with her doesn't mean I love her, but I'm going to provide for her. My little naira, I'm going to give it to her. My retirement package, she's going to have the password. She's not going to get that. Let's face reality. Men are driven by testosterone. If I don't get a way to get rid of my testosterone gets converted to DHT. This is where the enlargement comes from. DHT is dihydroxytestosterone. If the prostate doesn't use it, prostate swells. When it swells, my bladder cannot pee. Is she ready? Is she ready to start cleaning me up?
No, Dr. Wesley, you know this research, we're talking about this research earlier, that it affects primarily men of African descent, and then the Caribbeans, and then just a percentage for Afro-Asian men. So are you saying that, so how does this now apply to those who are not at risk of prostate cancer?
Good. So the old theory of clearance, the toxin clearance, affects all men. It's just that undue in dark-skinned people, and we're worried about it because it has something to do with melanin and all that. The white people, they are the one who give us serial monogamy. They are the one that give us different baby mamas. Again, the biological thing, the cellular thing is the testosterone.
Yeah,
not only prostate problem, men even have
How
cardiovascular
come
issues.
It doesn't, okay, if you say men are supposed to be polygamous, right?
We're
that
wired to be
wired
polygamous.
to be polygamous.
Yes.
So those who are monogamous, what happens to them?
Good. It's a bell curve, so it's not going to. So
internationally, a lot of white people they remain faithful to their wives.
They're monogamous.
They're not
yes,
as
so
they're not
therefore,
as
Madam Rich, let's use the word.
They're not as
They remain
promiscuous.
faithful.
They're
Yes.
not as promiscuous.
we do not have the statistics at the end of the day.
They sold us this thing called monogamy that it has to be.
No, but can I ask you something?
Yes.
That also abroad
Yes.
or in the Western world,
Yes.
when you marry, you divorce, your wife gets half.
Absolutely.
You marry the next wife, you divorce, your wife gets half.
Yes.
Don't you also think that in Africa, because men, or especially in Nigeria, because men get away with blue murder, that is also what adds to the fuel of this promiscuity?
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue against that. But also remember, here is the man that carries majority of the bill. We know we're in a progressive society now that some women are contributing. But majorly, it's still the man that pays mortgage. It's still the one that has to pay for all private school of all these kids. Over there, it's 50-50. So yes, I agree with you that there might be some changes we need to make. But let's go back to the cellular part. We're the most populous black nation. Why are we still losing men to prostate and cardiovascular issues?
Why are we still losing? So the reason we're losing men to prostate and cardiovascular issues can't be solely tied to the fact that they're not having sex.
No. It's
because
not
we're not preaching, like I said, talked on some other things where it has to lifestyle and sedentary lifestyle and all those things.
We're
those
giving
things,
them.
There's no emphasis on that.
No. I wanted to bring something up. We're giving them options. We're not saying it's only sex. Sex will not solve all the problem. We're giving them options. One of the things you had brought up that concerns me, I see young couples in my clinic and they're having infertility issues. She said, planned sex. Men are not robots. You call me that you are ovulating. This thing is not going to wake up. We are spontaneous. That's part of what. No. Wait now.
Okay.
I see them in my clinic. So one of the things we teach physiologically is your madam, your girlfriend that you just married, should not tell you when she's ovulating. She should only tell you when she starts her period. There is a reason for that. It increases your fertility. You come home, you call me, I'm your new husband. Anxiety. This thing is going to shut down because I'm like, hey, madam only has 24 hours because the egg is only there for 24 hours. But no, if you've been to the clinic and the doctor said, just find out when she starts her period, then count 11, 12, 13, 14 days. Those are our 4 fertile days. Then you don't have to do it all day. You can do it all the time. Make sure she's wet. If she's wet, your sperm stays in her body 3 days. Most men do not know that. And the wetness comes from your estrogen. So tell me, why do women have biological clock and men don't? Because we can have more than one. We should be able to have more than one. Don't let us buy into this monogamy thing. If you can do it, God bless you. My father was a polygamist, but I had uncles who were monogamists. Good.
Are you saying it's absolutely impossible for all men must be monogamous by nature?
Most men. I'm married.
Do you have 2 wives?
No, I have only one wife now. But hey, no, that's personal.
So if you had your way,
I do my own side.
So if you had your way, you would have more wives?
God bless me. I'm going to. I am going to.
You are going to have more wives?
No, I am going to. Look, I grew up in a polygamy home. I loved it. The best thing that happened to me was I had a lot of siblings.
No, but
Let me quickly drop just one simple thing. Okay. I remember when a man came for counseling and he said he has not cheated on his wife, but he's sick. I said, what's the problem? He said he's used to addiction. Sorry, he's used to masturbation.
Yeah.
Now
this is the problem. He masturbated to the point that he said he was tired. He started doing this.
Was he married?
He was married. He has 4 kids. He started doing this online sex where you have to pay them. A girl dances, nude videos. Sometimes he gets to collect their number privately.
Sorry, but why was he masturbating? Because the wife wasn't giving him anymore, or?
Women are always tired. Even me as I'm here, I'm even tired. What my man calls me is I'm tired. I don't have the energy.
Okay.
So you can imagine a woman that is in her. So he was trying to keep to the vow. According to him, they took an oath. So he doesn't want to die, right? So he said at some point he got used to masturbate. He got used to pornography. Right? If he doesn't masturbate like 10 times a day, he started having...
10 times?
Yes, he started having health issues.
Wow.
Most times he will now have to pay these girls, collect their numbers. They start to do a WhatsApp video call. It still boils down to cheating. Yeah. And I asked him, why don't you just... Yes, why don't you just go out? He said, because of the oath. I told him, nothing will happen to you. Your wife is just being selfish.
So that is it. Say that selfish thing, yes, because which is why I say you have to plan, no matter how tired you are. Since you know what tires you out, why not reduce it? I'm sorry.
Do you know that 3 days ago?
You know you have
3 days ago.
I'm sorry.
3 days ago, I promised my husband sex. He came to touch me, and I almost slapped him.
Okay, no.
The next morning he said, but you said, I was not in the mood.
Okay, so, okay, blessing. Let us
I don't think it's as easy
no,
to plan.
it is.
Listen, that's spontaneity is the
example.
fun.
For me, for example, there was a time I was like, I needed to have more sleeping hours because I realized it was affecting my weight. So I told my husband, please, as much as possible, come back home before 10 so that if we want to do this, let's do it, because by 10 I want to sleep. If you come back by after 10,
so mechanical.
No. Wait, so you think it's mechanical? It depends on how you say it. It depends on how you communicate, because I really am like, okay, hey, if guy, okay, it's a friendship you're able to build. Because when you say, when he said that a man is led by that, if you are in the heat of your passion, and then the woman you're about to hit on tells you, sorry, I have HIV, won't it fall? It will. So why do we make it seem like as though it controls our ability to reason and our ability to say no per time and our ability to choose ourselves? Because even the moment of that, I can't control myself, I couldn't control myself, that's why I did it, or that's why I raped her, that's why I forced it, and then the person just says, sorry, I just found out I have a HPV something. That's it will fall.
No, I know you've heard the saying before that men has 2 brains. So when that time, sometimes we use this other brain rather than this brain. Right? So if you outsource, is a planned thing. You are not going to be...
this word outsource that you're using is what...
It's a more redefined word so that they don't get angry. If you say if you cheat, outsource is a more sweet word. It's so... Because if you say cheat, they would...
You can call it side chick, you can call it the other
Let's
woman.
use outsource.
Let's just say outsource. Okay. Because our goal is we still want to keep the family intact. That family, quote unquote, society has told us that the head of that family is still the man. He's still a major provider. Now we're having increased prostate enlargement. We're having increased cardiovascular issues, especially in Nigeria. These are silent killers. So sex, when it's done properly, especially lovemaking, it's a very good form of exercise. Absolutely. I agree with you. Sedentary lifestyle, we preach against it. We preach against eating swallow late. We preach against salt, Maggie, yes. But if you have good intimacy and it's good lovemaking, It's a fantastic physiologic exercise.
We're going on a break now. We will continue this when this is a very interesting topic. So don't go anywhere. See you right back in about a minute or two. Grab your tea, as I always say, and see you right back on Perspective. Welcome back to Perspectives. Let's get back to what we were discussing. So come on, Dr. Rashid. The men are healing you because obviously you are voicing the desires or latent desires of most men when it comes to outsourcing, quote unquote. But the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, is that a lot of women are not now financially empowered. They are financially independent. They are more confident. They are more assured of themselves. And some of them might not necessarily support the need for their husbands or partners to be unfaithful.
I totally agree with you. I might have an issue with the word unfaithful because we're weighing it with how does this man protect his overall health. But again, let's compare it, let's bring it down home, right? So women are more liberated. It's all women movement that led to, more women in education. We love it. I'm a feminist. I advocate for all that. But we have to look at the other side of the coin. The same man that is going to marry you is going to carry majority of your expenses because our society believes that regardless of how successful you are not complete until you have a crown. That crown is your guy, right? And yet you have...
Realistically, women also they carry the financial burden with their husbands.
They do. Increasingly now, they're doing it more than our grandparents did. Our grandmas did not contribute more. Yes.
In Nigeria today, you have to.
Yeah, but we have to compare. Let's compare both societies. Back then, because our mothers, our grandmothers, it wasn't that they were stupid, they were wise. They overlooked certain things that our grandfathers were doing. But the trade-off for that is us. We were raised with good manners. Now, the competition is there. I believe in equality, but equality doesn't mean it has to be 50-50.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. There's a trade-off. So now it's two income to maintain home. Who's going to take care of the kids? So at the long run, we're losing. If we look at it, we're losing. And yet, our biological clock, our reproductive years, needs to be short in order for her to avoid breast cancer, ovarian cancer. So it's not physiologically possible for me to hang with you. You and I may have married when we were in our early 20s. The moment you are in your 60s, as much as you still love me, you are not going to be able to give it to me. So please, let me outsource. And I'll keep it from you. I'll still respect you. The home is still yours. You are still the madam of the home. But let me outsource, and I'll do it safely, and I'll do it respectfully.
And when it's not done safely and not done respectfully.
That's when men become useless. And I say it to my men in the clinic. For example, I don't advocate men who are 2 minutes. No, you should learn to protect your body to be able to satisfy the... And there is treatment for that. So we do that in the clinic. So, because when you do sex, bam, 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 2 minutes, you are done. You turn the woman into a dumpster. So go to your doctor, get treated so you can last longer. Let me tell you another thing. Women actually enjoy sex more than men. But it has to be love-making.
Yes, so it has to be love-making.
It has to be
Do you agree
love-making.
with that? Do you agree that women enjoy sex more than men?
Yes, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you?
That women enjoy sex more than men. I think they enjoy it together. I'm speaking, I believe, and I say this, there was something that Blessing was saying earlier, when you talked about so long as there are other ways to satisfy the woman. We always focus on, we always talk about satisfying the woman, but the man needs to be satisfied too. It is a two-way street.
But men
always
satisfied.
It is not...
Like you said, they would ejaculate.
Let's not assume that they are satisfied. So there's a thing of, don't be a two-minute man.
Doctor, is it possible to actually have sex without having an orgasm for a man?
If he has medical issues. But
if he doesn't have medical issues.
If he doesn't, he has to, yes. Even if he does it under blind, without seeing the woman's face. As long as as long as the man ejaculates, we relieve some stress.
So you people are blessed like that. Men are blessed to ejaculate.
That is it.
Whereas women are more into mental...
There's something, when we talked about this earlier, right? It's interesting how...
women do.
It's interesting how Dr. Abassi is a man of one wife, but he is actually promoting this aspect of...
Is he promoting or he's talking about reality?
No, he's talking about reality or giving strong voice to outsourcing. But this is... And it still comes back to, because we're talking about all of this within the confines of marriage. Yes. And just what I spoke about earlier, how do we define that marriage is not just all about sex? Because when you talked about, yes, it will get to a point where, maybe she can't give it anymore. It could also get to the point where he can't give it anymore. So are you saying that the reason, and one of the things you mentioned, one of the things he mentioned earlier, the reason why there's a lot of divorce, high divorce, is because of poor sex drive and money. And I say, okay, it is not just for sex drive and money, it's because of a lack of purpose for why you got married. Because you can't only have gotten married because of sex. If it's so, you can have it without getting married. So what is the higher reason such that when you are married to that person, you can be committed to that person, even when the person, okay, you can no longer get it up, but she knows nevertheless how to make you still feel like a man, even though it's no longer getting up. And then she can no longer be as active and flipping and doing all the Olympic style like she used to do, but you still know how to make her feel like a woman, feel loved, feel valued, seen, respected, and doted over.
No, nothing is taken away. But let me give you an example. Let's assume that you and I have been happily married. We've been happily married for 25, 30 years. There could be a time that you are turned on and my thing will not work.
Absolutely.
And yet, if I go out that same day and I meet one of my other women, it works.
No, seriously.
Okay.
I remember I was with two male friends at the time. We were traveling and we were on the same flight and we got chatting. And both of them maybe in their 50s. This was a couple of years ago. And we got talking about this sex thing, you know, because they were telling me about their girlfriends, blah, 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 this and the other. So I said, but even aside from even having all these girlfriends, why don't you also encourage your wives to at least wear sexy negligee, you know, try and rekindle what you once had? And they were like, how? In fact, they said the minute his children left the nest, they realized they didn't have that much common in their wives anymore. The wife had become like a sister, like a mother. So they didn't see her as a... And listen, no. Exactly what doctor said. And I actually asked one of them in particular. I said, but the way you dress, you are so trendy, you are so this, you are so that. He said, look, Ruth, I might see my wife naked several times and nothing would happen. But this same thing that has not gotten up, like he said, all I need, some of them even said, is they think about their girlfriends before they can actually have sex with their wives.
So the question now is, which is what I think we're not answering, is the man asking, how come?
It's not a matter of how come. It's about familiarity and long term.
Yes, so the thing
is the issue of the pheromones. So the man himself does not even have control over it. But
it doesn't mean he loves his wife less.
That is it. He still loves the wife.
Talk.
Yeah, have you ever seen...
Let her talk.
Have you ever seen a 50-year-old woman on a mini gown, bomb shorts or crop top? You'll be irritated. It simply means
why?
It simply means no. Let's just say few. No, I want us to be. Let's be realistic. Let's leave logic. Maybe few of them who have worked on their body and their wealth. We are talking about majority. There's an age that comes, you can no longer do those exciting things. I know of a lady, when we, just like you're saying, I spoke to her, package yourself, rebrand yourself, da. She said anytime she wants to do that thing, the man is irritated. He's going to be like, you don't big past this thing. What's the meaning of this? Yeah, but if a younger girl...
still look good enough.
Yeah, so why did you say that?
I'm giving an instance. I'm trying to say it has passed. The body is no longer the same. This is what I'm used to. If you like package and you take off the bra, it's... So we're going to be talking more about being intentional as a man.
Exactly. We're not talking... And that's being intentional means you're going to ask deeper questions.
No, this intentionality does not mean that you are not going to do something outside. Intentionality simply means I'm going to respect you.
I don't think it's wrong for a woman in her 60s. Somebody like me and I say I want to compete with a 20-year-old girl.
People, they do.
Why?
Why is there? There's no need to that.
Is it a competition thing? How did we
but
get
at the
there?
same time, I will not be in a relationship and expect that the way my relationship with my partner will be the same relationship we will have with the 20-year-olds.
Some women actually think that way. They put in
no, but why would you think that? How do you want to begin to compete?
No, Miss Ru, because the whole idea is that woman who is in her 50s now is faulting that man that you are not giving it to me.
You know there are a lot of sexless marriages.
There are a lot of sexless marriages in Nigeria.
But the truth of the matter, if you've been with somebody for so long, 30 years, 40 years, how often is the sex now?
Syphilis has entered. Pheromone is there. So
it can't be.
How often can the sex be?
What we're saying
are you
is we're
going to be
actually
swinging?
supporting that it's okay for syphilis.
No. Sex me.
It's against there.
So how do we recognizing that, okay, which is why I said when we're talking earlier, to say marriage cannot be from present forward. It has to be from forward backward. More like you have seen yourself how far you are going to go, how far you want to go. What 60 years, I'm getting married to you in my 20s. What will 80 years be like with you? If I cannot see myself with you in 80 years' time, I will not get married to you at 20.
Let's put it this way.
So when there is no purpose that is driving from the beginning, then
sex doesn't take away from it. It doesn't take away from the closeness of your relationship.
That relationship is going
it doesn't take away from the tightness of your relationship. In fact, there are some relationships I've heard that there's barely sex, but there's a strong connection. In other words, that means your relationship with your partner has superseded the physical.
Exactly. So that means sex is not the root entirely.
No,
like we're
it's
talking
not
about.
the root.
No, you know earlier I said the reason divorces happen is because of marriage,
Lack of bedroom and money.
sex, and
Yeah.
money.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that
Are you
means
saying that
Yeah.
if you're not having sex with your wife, it's enough for you to divorce her, even if you've been married to her for like about 30 years?
No, he didn't say divorce.
I didn't say look.
said one
Go
of
and
the
look at the
primary
data.
causes.
Yes, because we looked at the data that why is divorce rate going high? In the US now it's about to be in the 60s. That means 6 out of every 10 is breaking.
And that's
Why?
because they can't
It's more about
cheat.
money.
That is because they can't cheat.
Because they
outside
can't
the
cheat
country,
over
there
there
is
now
restriction.
because there is a penalty
Nigeria
for
Also,
it.
because we can cheat. That's why our own marriages are last. I mean,
Are you so all white marriages that have lasted is because of what?
No, because
We
they
can't
do-
say all white
No,
marriages.
we cannot say all. So it's not about absolute, but let's look at the majority. It's the same white people that will give you serial monogamy now.
What are these? You know, because
Serial monogamy. You don't born picking for me. You move to another one, born picking. No marriage,
And
oh,
because
there is
I don't love you anymore, I'm
that is it. Moving on, moving
It's
on.
not even
And then-
about. Let's put it this way. A woman is young. She gets married. She starts to have kids. Now the bone of contention is there nothing else that his wife can do to keep him at home apart from outsourcing? Now the reality comes down to this place. The moment she starts having kids, women already have a distraction. Men don't. Your children can keep you going for 8 months. You won't even remember sex because you're so busy. Yes. We have single moms who are there, and we have couples who are just cohabiting. They're not having sex. They've cohabited for 15 years, 16 years. Their wife, we do everything, but we're not having sex. Sometimes this woman is...
They're not having sex. They are not communicating.
It has the communication has. That's
So
what,
it's not leading to even
now
them to be
having this
intimate with
statement
each
right
other.
now is making the women aware that do you see children is part of the things that drifts this thing
in fact,
because
men become number 4. It's first your health, then your children, then your work,
And it
then your
shouldn't be.
husband.
And then it shouldn't be.
and the newer
So
form
that
now,
is the awareness
this
that we
same-
need to focus on to say, hey, in the middle of all of this, your spouse is primary, you are both
How many
supporting
of
the
them are
children.
people that
So
is
that
it.
is what I'm
Not
saying, that we're not
everyone is
asking
wired.
deeper questions.
No, but can I
and
ask you a
making people
question?
more aware of how to heal the marriages.
How many married women will
philandering
put
is
their
option.
spouse first before their children?
it's not
I will.
1%.
You put your spouse before your children.
I will.
Oh, yeah,
You are
in the minority.
Honestly, you are an exception.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You see,
You
you
put
see
your
the new,
husband before your children.
you see the new trend now. A lot
they're
of
the
women,
minority.
a lot of women in their 60s leave the men here to go and take care of the grandkids
Oh,
abroad.
I've heard about that too.
No.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not giving my
Oh, yes.
husband to
Many
be-
men have complained about that.
Are we on this? I'm being honest with you.
No,
A
yes.
lot
So,
of-
so
yes.
the fact that that happens. So what I'm saying is, so let us not say because of that is what made, because there's significantly a dysfunction somewhere that we're not seeking.
Okay,
say what
but
I'm saying.
can I ask
We're
you a
not
question?
seeking to
Let me ask you a
look for a
question. Let me-
remedy to how to make it better.
Okay, let me
Instead,
ask
we're saying
no, but
this is
let
how it
me
is.
ask
Let us cast it in
Stephanie,
there.
let me ask you a question,
facing
please.
reality.
Do you expect that you say you have a very healthy sex life with your husband now? Good for you.
Yes.
First and foremost, how long have you been married?
We're 15 years in March.
Oh, you're even lucky that you can still have a very active sex. Abi, am I lying?
Yeah.
A very active sex life
15 years.
after 15 years. Now, it might be the same 20 years, but what about 30, 40 years down the line?
Which is why I said that.
It's
the
not about
time will come
communication.
when
What
we-
about-
no, I'm not talking about communication.
What about
the
30
time
years
will
down the
come
line?
where we can no longer be active. How else? What was the reason why we got married in the first place that
But
can still keep
everybody
us
that has
together?
gotten married in the first place has gotten married because of love now.
That is it. But you know, let me tell you, I don't want to pull something bad out there. But 15 years from now, you might not be able to get your man up, no matter what you do.
Because he would
So-
have age would have been
No,
telling,
but
age would have been knocking on his door as it is knocking on my door.
He's still producing testosterone. So you want his testosterone to go unused?
It will not go used.
Yeah, but she's saying she's up to the task now.
We shall. Thank you very much.
She's saying
You know,
she's
I'm
up to the
very,
task.
very up to
So
task.
now women
So
who are-
let's talk more of 20 years from
women
now.
who are up to the task.
Or
Okay.
25 years.
women who
Okay,
are up-
15 years from now.
So in other words, you're
it's still
saying
very.
Realistically,
25 years from now, you're still going to be very active.
realistically,
25 years from now, I'll be 70. I would have been slowing down. Hello, what are we still pursuing in this life? By that time, I'll be taking care of my children. No, we will be. No, by that time, of course, just ensure that the children have gone to them. It will just be vacating on the beach, rubbing each other. How are you? It's not
But your husband might
somersaulting.
still be active at
That is
70.
it. That is it.
Your husband might still be active at 70.
My grandfather had a child at
Shoot,
73.
My oldest patient in the US is 92. The wife brought him in.
Is he still sexually
I'm
active?
being honest with you.
At
On my
92?
I'm telling you.
Have you had?
It's
Have you had?
once a week,
Have
they
you had?
pick a date. I'm being honest with you.
Patients like that.
92.
92.
Wow.
Honestly. So we have to know, we have to go back
Is
to
he
the cellular
walking
level.
upright?
He's walking upright. It's the woman that brought him in.
Okay, Viagra.
Ms. Ruth, we're not using Viagra. The science has gone more than that. We use what is called trimix. I give it to any man, his erection will be like this.
Are you serious?
It's guaranteed now. It's what I do.
Is
I have a
trimix
clinic.
better than Viagra?
Oh, yes,
Even
now. And
if
trimix is localized. I can customize
Doctor,
it. You want 1 hour so you can satisfy you,
even if this
do
thing
it.
is like this,
Yeah.
does he have the energy?
Exactly.
Have you not seen where... Does he have
Which
the
is
energy?
why, you know,
Don't come and
honestly,
ask yourself.
sometimes I think we... Permit me, I know you are in the sexual area, but sometimes I think, I beg your pardon, that we overrate sex. And we make it the bane, we make it the core, we make it overshadow every other thing that we don't... I'm sorry, we are too... Permit me, this is what I say. We are too godlike. I beg your pardon. We are too God-ish.
No. We live in an hypocritic society.
Human being
yeah.
to just sex.
No, we live in an hypocritic society. We're very hypocritical.
To reduce,
here.
no, I'm not. It's not so. You think it is
This sex
hypocritical?
you're trying to underrate. Let me say this. This sex
It's not underrating. What I mean is, it is not bigger than the human experience.
Do you know why sex is the alpha and omega?
It's not the alpha.
Number one, it is the alpha and omega because it also bets reproduction.
Absolutely.
It is futuristic.
Absolutely.
It is from sex that you get bonding, connection.
Absolutely.
You cannot lie about what kind of communication I will communicate and will not end in the bed. I never forgive you. It's bonding.
Within marriage, you mean?
Both marriage and relationship.
I've had couples where the wife will say, "Is it food?" Let me give you the answer. It is food. Physiologically, sex
I know
is
my
food.
husband just returned from the
is
trip,
food.
and on his
It
way
is
back from
food.
the airport, I asked him, "What do you want? What should I make for you? Do you want to eat moima
said
and
you
pap?"
cook food.
And I said, "Do you want to eat moima and pap, bread and egg, or do you want me?" 3 options.
Okay, because you're food too.
I'm food
Yes, now
too.
it is food. So
Right? So yes, it is food. But what I'm saying is,
But it's not
it
the
is
be-all
not.
and end-all, is it?
It's not the
No,
be
it's
all
not,
and end
but-
all.
What she's saying is the be all and end all.
It's
It is the
not.
alpha. It's a major connection. It brings everything down. Even when the house is cracking, if you are still
Okay, but
knocking
if that's
well,
the case,
yes.
if that's the case, when you now talk about your women that you've had for 30, 40 years,
Yes.
and they're the bane of your existence,
yes.
your trust is with them,
Yeah.
your insurance,
Yes.
your life, your whatever is with them, it means you have a deeper bond.
Over time.
Over time.
That is it.
Exactly.
Remember I mentioned that
so
the
if you're saying
relationship
sex
will
is the
evolve.
be all and end all, this person who you've now put in a special place in your heart
Yes.
is your partner
Yes.
who you've had for so long and
Yeah.
who you will trust your life with.
Yeah.
Surely, you will not give that up for sex.
You don't get.
No, no,
At
no,
least
you are
not even getting
the
this
woman
sex
has
anymore.
satisfied you during
Yes,
her youthful
exactly.
period. She has done
Okay,
her work.
youthful period.
Yes,
Okay.
She has done that now. She doesn't have the strength
sacrificing
again.
it. You are just telling her, please let somebody else share this part with you. You are there. You are the queen. Then let somebody help you.
No, but would you even tell your wife that?
No, that's the respect. Whatever the left does, the right
Exactly.
should not do. But you should allow. I want her to look the other way. That is it. It's
No,
wisdom.
why should she look the other way? She's not aware of it.
Fantastic. So the more I can do it, the better. But it's because we're also in an hypocritical society.
Yes.
We're talking about sex as if it's a taboo, as if it's something
It's
bad.
not a taboo.
It's not. It should be. We should be able to
It's
face
not a
reality.
taboo.
And that is the reason why doctor said it's a problem because I said it one day that it's a silent
It's a
killer
silent-
in
it's a
marriage.
silent killer.
Everybody will come
Sex.
out and tell you,
About-
it's especially the godly ones. It's not a problem. It's but every time they're going to their pastors. So I've seen somebody who came to complain about sex. A married woman, she couldn't be blunt.
Yeah.
Talk what is he's not so good. Madam, what happened? He's not so good. I had to spill it out. It's just like a silent, no matter how we pretend. I used to say, I love you, everything just ends in the bed. There's nothing, every other thing you're bringing, communication, intentionality, it boils down around
The
sex.
reason, the reason why it almost seems hypocritical is because we were not taught the art and the act of sex. We were not taught. So it's
Now
the
we're
ability
teaching
to,
it.
Now
it
we
is the
have to
ability
teach
to
ourselves.
school,
Yeah.
teach another generation better the art of sex and the act of sex. And even be the ability to communicate sex. Oh, I like it this way. I don't like it this way. I don't like when you do it this way. Can we try this? Well, no, swing from the Shadia and a song. Don't do it in real life. You know, just being able, because that in itself fosters the
actually
bonding.
communicate that.
So because we don't, if, as a matter of fact, you can even find out why the
men
lights
have
are
gotten
off,
lazy.
because you cannot look in the face of the person that you're having a sexual intercourse with and actually be able to bond on that level.
Wait now. So one
So
of the
that is
benefits.
what needs to be
one of
taught.
the benefits that the side chick brings to the table is that none of this thing is programmed. There is no communication. It's a simple transaction.
So it's transactional.
It's transactional. That is it. I'm not falling in love with her. I may not even remember her name.
Some men fall in love with side chicks.
So men have married side chicks.
That's if that, we
men fall in love with
are
side
trying to
chicks.
divert.
Transaction.
Before he falls
Even
in
if
love with
it
her,
is.
before he falls in love with the side chick, she's playing a particular role.
Role,
Exactly.
honestly.
Exactly. So before
Okay, I want to bring a very controversial topic right now that one of my clients asked me. She's been married for 4 years. You know, sex is good, everything is great. Remember, men are adventurous beings. They want to flip you. And the man now said he wants anal sex. And she said she cannot give. So she permitted her husband...
Anal sex, okay.
Yeah, to go and do it outside. I don't know if you get my point.
I get it.
Now, as time goes on, like the same way men tell you they want to eat a goosey, they want to eat okoro, they want to do this one, the same way they want to have varieties of women who can do varieties of things for them.
It's called the old bull syndrome.
And your wife cannot do it. Yeah. There are some certain things your husband will ask you to do, Seth. You'll be upset. You'll be like, I don't know if you're getting me.
Yeah. You know, another part that I'm even hearing this, and yes, it is probable, it is true, right? But then what we're not asking is, we're trying to satisfy something. And the need for, as human beings, yes, we're adventurous. Adventurous to what end? And at what point are we able to curb ourselves? Right. At what point are you able to curb ourselves? Yes, the fact that I feel like it doesn't mean I must have it. Otherwise, oh, darling, I want to have sex with our dog. Because I want to, that is what?
Adventure simply means your husband does not need to tell you.
That's adventurous.
No, the problem is, as a married woman, you feel like your husband is supposed to, this thing we're talking about, outsourcing, your wife does not need to know.
Absolutely.
It's just because we're having it as a conversation on national television. Your wife does not need to know. Most women that think that their husbands are faithful are men that are careful.
Yes, very
I just say, don't get caught.
Yeah.
If you get caught, I'm an advocate of if you cheat on me, I'll leave the marriage. I am indirectly telling you, be smart. Don't get caught. And don't get caught simply means you are going to respect your wife. I have a man who has come, he said he has cheated for 15 years. He's a pastor, but his wife doesn't know about it.
One of the primary roots I believe we're implanting today is the fact that promiscuity should be normalized and there are no faithful men.
We are not saying it should be normalized.
That's what
No,
it's not that it should
what
be
we're saying,
normalized.
it is normal for men to philange.
No.
It is
We're rounding up now.
We're saying physiologically, we need to be aware, we're the most populous black nation on earth, we need to be aware of the malady of prostate. One of the ways to reduce, not the only way, one of the ways to reduce is to get the men to flush. Flushing 21 times a month, if your madam at home cannot do it, which we know physiologically it's not possible for her, especially if she's a newly mom, she has 1 or 2 kids, priority goes to the kids. So, and she's already added 5 days out of it for you.
You can masturbate now, you don't have to
masturbation side effects of masturbation.
Of course, masturbation now affects blood flow, and even religiously, some churches will tell you don't do it.
Beyond just the elimination part, let's talk about the health benefits. There are side effects to masturbation that affect men.
Absolutely, because
last word. We have to round up now. What's your last word?
My last word is just going to be, just hide. Anything you know you're not proud of, hide it.
Whichever way if you believe you love your man, enhance is 21 times. If you can do it, God bless you. If not, give him the license to outsource.
As long as it's not caught.
Yes. He has to be smart about it.
For me, it's going to be that the fact that something is popular does not mean it is right, and you must not align with it, because a lie can become a truth.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. Thank you so much. Blessed to see you for your very insightful views on this very sensitive topic. Anyway, infidelity is rarely condoned, truth be told. Yet it remains a reality many couples must face. In some cases, honest admission can pave the way for healing. In others, particularly when a child is involved, denial may inflict even greater damage, eroding trust and destabilizing the family. Decision to confess or conceal often depends on the nature and severity of the betrayal, as brutal honesty can sometimes cause wounds deeper than the infidelity itself. And as I keep saying, life is a learning curve. That's all we have time for today. You've been watching Perspectives on Rise News with me, Rita Sime. It's been worth my while presenting the show, and I hope you've enjoyed being a part of it all. Until same time next week, do stay positive and have a brilliant week. Goodbye.